with no nestling. We might as well play bridge with our maiden aunts. Love hasn't got a chance. This is a fine romance. Well, say something, then.
Well, I'm just trying to get the facts straight.
I've already told you the facts.
Well, that's what I mean. Look, you arrived back from Brussels 2 hours ago while we were having supper with Mike. You've been hiding upstairs till he left. Is that right?
More or less.
What do you mean, more or less? Look, I don't think you ever really went to Brussels. I think you've been hiding upstairs the last 6 months.
Just sounds sillier than it is.
It couldn't sound sillier.
Aren't you glad to see me?
Oh, I'm thrilled. I haven't had a completely insane evening for ages. But of course I'm glad to see you. I just wonder why you couldn't arrive normally.
Well, I did, only I didn't know the Mike was here. So I suggested that she wait upstairs until he went.
Well, I suppose it does make a terrible sort of sense.
I saw baby Bill. He's beautiful.
Yes, he is, isn't he?
Well, come on. Tell us some more about George.
Georges.
Georges? Georges.
This chap I met in Brussels.
He's proposed.
Proposed what?
Marriage.
Sorry.
Well, the first couple of months were awful. I didn't know anyone. I nearly came home. And then this girl at work invited me to a party. So I said to myself, Laura, either you sit around feeling sorry for yourself, or you get up with your backside and do something about it.
So you went to a party and met Georges?
Well, not exactly. I couldn't find the place, and I asked someone, and that was Georges.
Look, this proposal.
No, I couldn't. He was a dear, kind man. I think if he'd offered to adopt me, I would have accepted.
I don't think Mum and Dad would have liked that.
But you know what I mean. He was a lovely soft blanket. He made me feel warm and totally protected. Perhaps that was the trouble.
You do have a penchant for precarious living, don't you?
No.
No?
No!
No?
No!
You said he was rich.
Yes, very.
No?
Oh, shut up. Anyway, it's over and done with. And here I am, older and wiser. No, well, just older.
Well, we're glad, aren't we, Phil? Aren't we, Phil?
Yes. I expect Mike will be, too. Unless you intend to hide upstairs every time he comes round.
Well, of course I don't. I just wasn't prepared to meet him that quickly. I'm bound to bump into him sooner or later.
He's got a dodgem car.
Well, I'll phone him then.
We just try and say a bit more than hello, Mike, and hanging up this time.
Well, you know about that.
Well, that's why he came round. He was worried.
He was, Laura.
You see, I just got to Brussels airport. I just phoned him, but when he answered, I couldn't think of anything to say, so I hung up.
No wonder he was worried.
Oh, I know. I've made a mess of it. I've made a mess of everything. Well, I'm too tired to talk about it now.
Yes, of course you must be. Well, I'm not having you looking for hotels this time of night. You must stay here.
That's already been arranged.
Oh.
Just till I sort myself out. Shall I leave him in the garden? He's fast asleep and it's a lovely day.
Yes, he's wonderful when he's awake, but it's ever so peaceful when he's asleep. You were a long time.
I enjoyed it. I'm afraid I showed off terribly.
That's all right, so do I.
Aren't other people who show off with their babies boring?
So little to show off about.
Exactly. Is that lunch? Do you want a hand?
I'm nearly done. Sit down and talk to me.
You know, I've been thinking
Oh, yes?
about Mike.
Oh, yes?
I'm going to have to see him sooner or later.
I suppose you are.
But I'd sooner it was later than sooner.
I think you owe him an explanation about that phone call.
Yes. I don't suppose...
No.
But if you were to bump into him...
Now you're back on bumping into him. I'm not likely to. I don't see that much of him.
But if you were just...
If I do, I shall not give a single clue as to your whereabouts or well-being. If anything's going to be said, it's got to come from you.
Now, I want your promise on that. You've got it. Good. Because, you see, I want it to come from me.
Well, I hope you mean this elementary.
Hello, Helen. I'm sorry to bother you.
Not a bit of it.
It's not a bad time, is it?
Not at all. It's a very good time. Come in, Mike! Sit down, Mike. How are you, Mike?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm a bit worried.
Worried, Mike?
Why are you shouting?
Oh, sorry. The baby's in the back garden, you see, and the sound of my voice reassures him.
Would you like to...
No, he's probably asleep by now. Actually, I've got something in the oven.
I'll bump into him sometime.
He's through that door.
Please.
If anyone finds out how I've been acting since you got back, they'll take my baby away from me. I'm sorry, Mike.
What about it?
The interruption. Now, what is it you're worried about?
Well, Laura. Aren't you worried as well?
Yes, I am, as a matter of fact.
Where's that phone call from Brussels yesterday? I mean, why should she phone me and say, hello, Mike, and then hang up? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think she's in some sort of trouble. I think she wanted to tell me something, but, well, let's face it. It's been 6 months and she lost her nerve and hung up.
I think you're right.
But what was it she wanted to tell me?
Look, Mike, I should just forget the whole thing.
I can't. I mean, maybe she's ill. Maybe she's in some sort of trouble.
I don't think she deserves that sort of consideration.
That's not like you.
Well, it is today.
But it is worrying, isn't it? I've rung that number in Brussels 6 times since last night, and there's been no reply. What are you doing? Why are you showing me this cupboard? I'm sorry, am I supposed to be deducing something?
How could you?
Look, what are we talking about?
Oh, I'm fed up with all this.
All of what?
All of it.
I expect it's the baby.
What is?
Well, when a baby is born, don't women sometimes... postnatal depression, that's what it's called.
No, Mike, I am not suffering from postnatal depression. I am suffering from post-Laura depression.
Yes, of course. You are worried about Laura. Look, we've got to find out what's up, haven't we?
But...
No, this has got to be sorted out. And I am going to do it.
I went for a really nice walk.
Really?
so lovely to look at English things again.
Yes, I suppose the view from the cupboard was rather limited.
Oh.
It's no good sitting there and sighing.
You think I'm behaving stupidly, don't you?
With knobs on.
Is lunch ready yet?
Yes?
God, I'm starving.
You're not getting any.
Oh, really? What are you going to do? Send me to my room?
I'll tell you what you're going to do straight away. You are going round to see Mike and explain.
Look, Helen, if and when I see Mike, and what I choose to explain is really my business, isn't it?
Not if I have anything to do with it. Not when I'm supposed to tell lies to someone who is genuinely concerned.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Good.
So, if we can just have lunch now...
I told you, you're not getting any lunch.
I'll go out for some.
Oh, for goodness sake, go round and see Mike now.
I should really, shouldn't I?
Yes, you should, really.
Yes, well, I'll go.
Right.
I'll go now. Without lunch.
Good.
I intended to see him anyway. After lunch. Right then, I'm off. And I must say, Helen, it's very unlike you to get into such a state over nothing.
Oh, sorry. I was just having a... Well, I was having a look at something. Can I help you at all?
I'm just looking for Mr. Selway.
Oh, he's not here.
You're Terry.
Yeah?
Don't you remember me? Laura Dalton. We did meet once.
Gordon Bennett.
Have I changed that much?
No. Only you're here.
Yes, that's right.
Only Mike isn't.
But where is he?
He's gone to Brussels to look for you.
Non, monsieur, à l'Angleterre, à l'Angleterre.
That's England.
Oh, oui.
Are you saying that Mademoiselle Dalton has gone to England?
Hier.
She's here.
Non, monsieur, à l'Angleterre, hier.
No. That's me. I have come from Angleterre to here. Ici.
Pas ici, monsieur, hier.
Yeah.
Hier.
Yes, all right, very good. So, Mademoiselle Dalton is yeah.
Santé.
Cheers. Now, let us try a different approach.
Aujourd'hui.
Today?
Oui. Demain.
Tomorrow?
Bravo, monsieur.
Look, this is all very informative, but what...
Che. Hier.
Yesterday.
Bravo, monsieur.
Mercy. So, what about yesterday? Yeah.
Alors, hier,
Yesterday.
Mademoiselle Dalton,
Laura.
pas avion.
The name of a place?
Non, 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 monsieur, pas avion.
Oh, a plane.
À l'Angleterre.
To England. Yeah, so, Mademoiselle Dalton. To England yesterday. Madame, I think you're the first person to tell me the truth in the last 24 hours.
Pardon, monsieur?
Nothing. Santé.
Cheers.
Mike?
Nice meet.
Oh,
You still here? Well, that's a soppy question, isn't it?
no, it isn't a soppy question. It's not a soppy question at all, Terry. I just thought that Mike might be on the plane that gets in at 6 o'clock.
Well, I don't see why I'd come here that late.
No, come to think of it, nor do I.
He'd have gone straight back home. Look, I could find his number and give him a ring for you.
I know the number. I used to live there.
Oh, yeah.
And I phoned, there's no reply.
Well, perhaps he stayed in Brussels overnight. You know, made a little holiday of it.
I don't think he'd be in a holiday mood.
Tell me something. You two always carry on like this?
More or less.
Never dull then, eh?
No, never dull.
Well, look, I hope you don't think I'm being rude, but I like to play with my little girl before she goes to bed.
Oh, of course, you want to lock up?
Ta.
Oh. Oh.
She loves Mike.
Does she?
Oh, yeah. I think it's because he doesn't do all that coochie-coochie stuff to her.
What does he do to her?
Well, he talks to her as if she's a proper little person.
Look, Terry, I don't want to hold you up anymore, but about Mike. I've already messed him up enough as it is, so if you see him tomorrow, could you ask him to ring me at this number?
Yeah, sure.
Come to think of it, you better ring me and I'll ring Mike.
OK.
I'll give you Phil's office number as well.
Oh, lovely. Who's Phil?
Helen's husband.
Well, who's Helen?
My sister.
Oh, you better give me her number as well, then.
I already did. I'm staying there. So if we should be out, you could ring Phil, and then Phil will ring me when I get back. So if you do go out, I'll ring Phil to tell him who you are if you should ring him. I'll ring you to tell you that Phil's rung me. And how old is your daughter?
She's 1, why?
I should forget you've ever seen me. Go home and have a really intelligent conversation with her.
Well, do I lay a place for your mad sister or what?
She's just worried.
You don't know how she is. You haven't seen her since this morning.
She wouldn't have gone back to Brussels, would she?
But for all I know, she's pony trekking in the Himalayas. I still think you should have given her away when Mike came round this morning.
I promised. I did show him the cupboard.
Well, the level of behaviour she brings you down to. Ah, there she is. Wonder if she brought any Sherpas with her.
I've been to Brussels.
Oh, dear.
Yes, that's what I thought. Laura was here all the time, wasn't she? Hello, Phil. You've grown a moustache, haven't you?
Well, if you knew she was here all the time, what'd you get to Brussels for?
Because it didn't click until I was well on the way home again. You were trying to tell me something this morning, weren't you? When you showed me that cupboard.
She made me promise.
I suppose you made you swear on that hamster's grave.
Grampy?
Yes, yes.
I'm beginning to wish she'd never come back in the first place.
Well, that's something I still don't know. Well, why did she come back?
Well, I think she should tell you that herself.
Yeah, assume we ever find her again.
Well, I don't know what's happened to him. Right, waiting. Honestly. Oh, hello, Mike.
Hello? It's like Stanley finding Livingston, isn't it?
Well, I think Phil and I will be incredibly discreet and go and get the dinner.
Yes, if you're going to have a row, make it a quiet one, or you'll wake up the baby.
Would you like to stay to dinner, Mike? You're very welcome.
No, thanks. I'm not hungry. I've had several aeroplane meals today.
So, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very well. How was Brussels?
Much as you left it.
Sorry. I shouldn't have asked that. I wasn't trying to be funny.
Oh, why not? Why not be funny? I think there's a great deal of humour in me spending £138 going to Brussels and back for simply nothing at all.
I'd have contacted you sooner if I knew you were going to do that.
Oh, you mean you'd have actually materialised instead of hiding in the cupboard?
No, last night.
Do you mean to say you were here last night?
Yes.
Whilst I was here?
Yes!
In the cupboard?
No, I was upstairs.
Well, of all the stupid, brainless, gormless, daft things to do.
Well, I was waiting for the right moment.
You had hundreds of right moments. Hundreds of right moments whilst I was worrying about you.
Oh, that was nice.
It was not nice. It was totally unnecessary, you and your stupid phone call.
Well, it was an impulse. I decided to come back to England and I wanted to tell you.
You didn't tell me anything. All you said was, hello, Mike, and then you hung up.
Well, just forget the phone call. Forget I ever phoned.
Oh, yeah, fine. Now forget the £138 I spent on going to Brussels and back for nothing at all.
You've become very mercenary.
What are you doing?
I'm giving you your rotten money back.
138
I know
pounds.
the amount. There.
Thank you.
Now look what you've done.
Me?
I thought I told you not to shout.
I don't know what's got into you both. I really don't.
Now, listen, you two. If you want to carry on with this, go somewhere else and do it. Find a pub with sawdust on the floor and turn it into a brawl, if you like. But I think you ought to know that I'm sick and tired of having my family caught up in your ravings.
Sorry, Phil.
Sorry, Phil.
Right.
Makes us sound like the Marx Brothers.
The three of them.
4 at one time.
I'm sorry about Brussels, Mike.
I don't know. Maybe you were right.
I don't mean about going in the first place. I mean about the phone call and your day trip.
Didn't even remember to get any duty-free. Well, now that you're back, are you staying for good or what?
Oh, yes. I think so.
Oh. Well, we must meet up sometime. Have a chinwag.
Yes, lots of news to catch up on.
Well, we'll have dinner or something.
Oh, that would be nice. No reason why we can't remain friends, is there?
No. No, of course not. Well, I'd better be off. Let Phil and Helen have their house back. Say goodbye to them for me, will you? Well, I'll see you soon then.
Right.
Look, about the check.
What about the check, Mike?
You forgot to sign it.
chance. This is a fine romance.